we're live. Okay, no one's telling me anything. I did not hear that. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SYFY WIRE live stage at New York Comic Con. Thank you for the applause there, person in the creepy nun outfit.
That is the creepiest outfit.
We are here now to talk about Image Comics' hit horror comic, Infidels, and we have the creators of the book here with us, writer Pornsak Pichetshote, artist Aaron Campbell, and colorist José Villarrubia. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I can't remember the last time a creator-owned book debuted with such impact as yours. Infidels made an instant connection with the audience because it's a ghost story with tremendous currency.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, you know, the concept of the book, for people who don't know it, is Infidel. We call it a haunted house story for the new millennium. It's about an American Muslim woman and her multiracial neighbors who move into a building that's haunted by racist ghosts. And, you know, it talks a lot about Islamophobia and xenophobia and racism at the time, and it's really, we've been happy and very lucky to find that it's kind of struck a chord and people seem to respond to it. And we're just holding on for the ride. There were 5 issues. The first trade just released in comic book stores last week, in bookstores this week. And we're here at the show and signing copies, and people like you are interested in it, and we're so happy.
Aaron, Jose, when you talked with Pornsak about the story and he gave you the concept, what he wanted to do, how quickly did you guys grasp it and say, oh yeah, I want to be part of this?
Immediately.
Yeah, absolutely immediately. And it was actually through Jose that I was connected. Jose was an old professor of mine, well, not professor of mine, but he was a professor where I went to school for undergrad. And we've been friends for a long time. He contacted me through social media and asked me if I wanted to be involved in this horror project, and I was like, absolutely, I do. Yeah.
You know, one of the unique aspects about the book too is the art in it and the colors they use. Very stark. It's very different. The panel layouts tend to give it a different feel than the typical page turner. And how much of that is because creating a scary story in comic book format is really hard. It's not the same as a scary movie or TV show where you have sound effects and you have visuals to make it to make the people frightened.
Yeah, it requires a certain amount of rethinking of the genre. So it's one of the reasons why, as I was conceptualizing the look of the book, I decided to do some experimentation with my process. So I'm using digital process as well as traditional process. And my idea is that everything that's real, everything that's in the real world is all done digitally. Everything that's supernatural is all done through traditional media, and that traditional media allows me to approach the book from more of kind of a fine arts standpoint. So, in fact, big influences for me on the book are people like Francis Bacon, the painter, the painter of terrifying images. And I think that juxtaposition of technique, as you turn the page and then suddenly we leave the digital realm and enter the traditional, people have been saying it actually creates legitimate jump scares. And that was incredible. It was a sort of a happy surprise, kind of, but once I started getting that feedback, I started really pushing that element.
We should talk about the fact that I think before you'd even released issue 3, the film rights to Infidels was picked up. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
That's incredible. I'm wondering if that news impacted the way you wanted to tell the story, because when the book was announced, you said it's a self-contained 5-issue story. Did the movie news, which is obviously something that comic creators love to hear because it's great to see their property expanded into other mediums, did that change your approach?
Too.
Yes, the money's nice. The money is nice. Did it change your approach?
No, not really, honestly. I mean, we came into this really knowing the story that we wanted to tell. We wanted to do a horror story that really was current and really felt modern and took the things that we're scared of now and put it into, for us, a ghost story. So to stretch it out just because they want to do a movie or whatever, that didn't really make sense. We had a story that we really wanted to be about something, to talk about something, and we really wanted it to be scary. And then the movie people came along, and you know, when that happened, there was a bunch of people interested, and it was really nice, but it didn't really change the way we handled anything.
We should point out that you guys have flipped around several positions here. You used to be an editor at Vertigo.
Yes.
Jose was the colorist on several of the books that you edited.
Yes.
For this book, he became the editor and the colorist. Jose, tell me about switching the roles with Pornsak and being the editor and helping him craft the story.
Well, I've been friends with Pornsak all those years that I was working with him. So we would talk about not just the projects that we were doing together, but all kinds of other things having to do with industry and the art of comics and so forth. And we always had a fantastic report, a really unique report. And so when Pornsak came to me and told me that he had this idea, it occurred to me very quickly that I had been wanting to be an editor for a long time, but never really had an opportunity, since most editors in comics are full-time editors and have other full-time jobs already. So this seemed like a window of opportunity, and it took a little bit of courage for me to bring it up to Pornsak, but he said absolutely. And so since Pornsak is an amazing editor, I learned so much from him before, and even during the editing process, he was really helpful in actually showing me some things that were important about the experience. What happened that was different, though, was that I was retained as colorist, and as colorist, I couldn't edit myself because the editor revises all the mistakes, and I couldn't see my own mistakes, or I wouldn't make them to begin with. So I asked him if he and Aaron would be my editors for coloring. So I would edit the scripts, edit the layouts and art, and they would edit my colors. So we all did a little bit of editing in the book. It wasn't just me doing it and me making all the decisions. We made all the decisions between the three of us. I love doing it. It's the most significant thing I've done in comics. I thought that the dual role was a learning experience for me as well. And I couldn't have done it with anybody better than with the two of them. They're friends, they're creators that I respect immensely, and that have put out a product that I'm extremely proud of.
Will we see another story arc of Infidels, or is it this self-contained 5-issue story?
It is this self-contained sort of final story. I mean, I have small, loose ideas of a sequel that could possibly happen, but those are very far away. I mean, Infidel really is sort of my reaction to everything that's sort of happening in the world right now. So either I would have to change a lot, or the world would have to change a lot, and if the world changes a lot, that usually is a bad sign more than a good sign. So I have a feeling that this will be, you know, this is very self-contained. It's what I've got to say for now.
We're in somewhat of a golden age for horror films.
Really are.
Right? So it must be exciting to you guys as the creators of this book to know that it's being made into a movie during this time when there's all these great creative people in Hollywood transforming horror stories into films.
Yeah, and I think honestly it was because of this current age in horror that we have right now that people were as receptive to the book as they have. Like, you know, we're in this great time right now where there's this much sort of socially progressive horror and socially relevant horror as there was in the 70s. And you've got stuff like Get Out, and you've got stuff like The Babadook and It Follows, and they're all horror stories that are about something and want to talk about something. And I know, like, I've had the idea for this book going back 8 years ago, and, you know, I got the idea after Obama's first year in office, and, you know, we had a black president, so we licked racism, and that wasn't a problem anymore. But Islamophobia was still rampantly on the rise, and that's kind of where the story came from. So this had been happening for a while, but no one really got it, and it wasn't until, like, we were already putting the book together and Get Out had come out, and people understood, like, oh, you could have a horror movie horror story that's about something, that's, you know, that's about race issues and all that sort of stuff. Where before it was just like, so wait, it's about Islamophobia, and it's a comic book, and it's a horror, and at that point they stopped listening.
Okay, we're almost out of time here. Real quick, each of you give me one horror comic besides Infidels that fans should go and pick up now to really get a good scare.
They're friends, and it's one of the best horror books currently out there. Witches by Scott Snyder and Jock is absolutely amazing.
That's a great one. Aaron?
Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run.
You just stole it.
I was going to say that one.
Now you got to give me another one, Jose.
Okay, Alan Moore's From Hell.
Oh, nice.
Yes. All three great recommendations. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Continued success. Best of luck with the film adaptation. And the Infidels graphic novel is out now.
Yes, out now.
Bookstores and comic shops, and where is it here?
Yeah, it's, bookstores, comic shops. We are signing an Artist Alley table L18 if you want signed copies. So, but otherwise, bookstores and comic shops everywhere should have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Hey, keep following all the fun here in New York Comic Con at hashtag It's a Fan Thing and hashtag NYCC. We'll be back with some more right now.
Hi, I'm Jackie Jennings with SYFY WIRE. If you can't get enough of New York Comic Con, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel for news, interviews, cosplay, and so much more. What are you waiting for?